Bryce Ladwig.
And good morning. This is the Coach's Corner. Bryce Ladwig with you with half my voice. We'll make it work throughout the rest of the morning. We enjoy, as we always try to start the show off with Yankton High School Activities Director Ryan Moores. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bryce. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming in, and you're going to get some Pizza Ranch pizza, right? I saw you haven't had any yet. So
grab some on the way out the door as we run over to get ready for volleyball, you bet.
Awesome. Yeah, so volleyball in town today, and you were talking to us before we started the show how often Aberdeen has been making our trip to Yankton.
Yeah, it's been a busy 3 days. We had the ESD cheer and dance competition here on Thursday. Coach Reichen and Coach Wells did a great job of helping get that thing set up, and obviously football last night and volleyball today, and yeah, Aberdeen all 3 days. So that's a long trip for them to send buses down here 3 days in a row.
How did the ESD dance and cheer meet go? I went there, and Kirby had a great time. So
yeah, it went really well. It's something you get to host once every 9 years, so it was exciting to be able to put that on. Like I said, Coach Wells and Coach Reichen did a great job helping get everything organized, and the meet went off without a flaw. So we were happy to host it and look forward to the next time we get to do it.
It's always interesting to me, at least, to see, I guess I'm really just a nerd like that, to see all the gym configurations at the summit.
Oh, yeah.
You go in there you have the competitive dance and cheer, that's one way. Then you have a wrestling meet, that's another way, right? Yep. Gymnastics and stuff I guess now that's at a different place.
But we still could host gymnastics if we need to, like for when we get ESD gymnastics back on our rotation, we'll move it back into the high schools. But yeah, I mean, for wrestling too, you can have it set up where you just have the two mats in the middle with the bleachers pulled on both sides, or you can come to like the wrestling invite, for example, where we have 4 mats on the floor and only bleachers on the north side. So yeah, you get all kinds of different configurations in there depending on what activity we're running.
Yeah, and then I've been in there during basketball practice sometimes, or maybe camps. And then all the bleachers are, collapsed or whatever. It's just giant in there. I'm just always like, wow.
And a lot of people really haven't seen that perspective. You come in sometimes and it's like, wow, there's this much space in here. Yeah, you have 3 full-size basketball courts in there for basketball practices and volleyball practices. So yeah, it really becomes different when it's not a spectator venue and more of a practice facility.
Big crowd at Crane last night, which is pretty usual at this point. But overall, how do you think everything went last night? Obviously, a lot of people in the gate.
Yeah, game management went well. We were able to recognize our seniors for boys golf, girls tennis, and cross country before the game started. So that was nice because they really don't have a traditional location where we can recognize them and their parents. And we also recognized a couple of ESD champs at that time too. But yeah, the crowd was nice, and it was a little cool last night, but it is the middle of October. So all in all, the temperature and the game operations went well.
All right, give us the times for volleyball again, so if people want to head out to the summit.
Yeah, come out and watch the Gazelles today if you have nothing going on. 12:30 p.m. we'll have freshman and JV games, 1:30 p.m. the sophomore games, and 3 p.m. is the varsity beginning. So if you want to come out and watch the Gazelles today, I'm sure they'd appreciate that.
And then do you have a Matthew Moores update? Every couple of weeks, someone asks for a Matthew Moores update for us.
Matthew Moores is extremely excited to be playing competitive basketball. A guy like him who's played as much basketball as he has since he was a little elementary student hasn't played a competitive real basketball game now since that state tournament his senior year of high school. So he is chomping at the bit to get out there. They have an exhibition game at home on November 2nd, which of course everybody will get a chance to play. And then they open up for real on Monday, November 7th at the Akron Zips. So he's looking forward to that.
Well, that's very exciting. I'm looking forward to being able just to, on those home nights, be able to sit on the couch and just watch Matthew from a different perspective. Absolutely, right? And watch him on probably a lot of ESPN Plus and stuff.
It'll be pretty cool to check that out. Yep. I'm also kind of interested to see what it looks like for him to play basketball with one guy guarding him instead of 2 or 3 for a change.
Yeah, that would be a different pace. So you're right. I mean, pretty much he just went into every matchup knowing that he was going to be at least double teamed. So
so now he's one of 5 guys, and that'll be on the court, and it'll just be fun to watch basketball with him out there being a part of it.
Awesome. We'll talk more about that as the year goes on, Ryan. Always thanks for joining us here in the Coach's Corner.
Yeah, thanks for your coverage, Bryce. We appreciate it.
All right, we'll start talking Yankton Bucks football when we come back.
SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab in Yankton has a newer research-based mindset when it comes to treating musculoskeletal aches and pains. We take the time to figure out where the pain is coming from and educate our patients on what they can do to improve their functional range of motion. We administer a range of treatments and preventative approaches that are customized to each individual patient and their health goals. Visit us on our website at swatchiropracticandrehab.com. When you need to feel better, visit SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab out by the lake on West Highway 52.
In the lab or up on stage, Mount Marty University has a place for you. From athletes and artists to academics and alumni, together we cheer each other on and work to make a difference in the lives of those around us. Show your spirit at a university that celebrates what makes us different. Schedule a tour at Mount Marty University by visiting mountmarty.edu or calling 605-668-1545.
It's time for a new kind of credit card, one that's with you where you are, wherever life leads. The Evergreen Credit Card by F&BO earns you unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase, every day, every step of the way. For important information and limitations regarding the rewards program, visit fnbo.com/evergreen for complete details. From the great big small bank, ever ready for you to earn more so you can do more. Only with Evergreen by FNBO. Learn more today at fnbo.com/evergreen.
A radio commercial for hearing loss is tricky. You see, there are two scenarios. Either it's you or it could be the loved one you're with. Here's how to find out. If the radio is deafeningly loud right now, it's probably not you. If it's not deafeningly loud, look over at your loved one wearing earplugs. Maybe it's time to visit the hearing experts, Avera Medical Group Audiology Yankton. Doctors Matt Rumsey and Kendra Bailey can get you back to never missing a beat during a conversation. They offer the latest technology and free 2-week test drives. Call 605-655-1220.
Truxedo Truck Bed Covers is proud to call Yankton home and be a part of such a strong local community. Truxedo's commitment to excellence in producing the best product available drives us forward. And it's a commitment we share with Yankton High School football. And that's why we're strong supporters of our Yankton Bucks. So let's unite, pack those stands, and cheer on our Bucks to victory. Be loud, be proud, be Yankton.
Olson Pest Technicians is a family-owned business since 1966. And with over 50 years of pest management, they understand your issues, and their well-trained team will help you solve your pest problems. Issues with cockroaches, ants, bedbugs, bats, termites, spiders, rats, mice, or other creepy crawling pests? Give your home a fresh start and use the proven method of fumigation to take care of your pest problem. Olson's Pest Technicians will thoroughly get rid of pests so you can rest easy again. Call Olson Pest today, 800-KILL-BUG. That's 1-800-KILBUGS.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. A rough game for the Bucks last night, falling to Aberdeen 29-7 at Crane Youngworth Field. Being joined by Coach Brady Muth, Coach Justin Olson. Coaches, good morning.
Morning, Bryce.
Obviously, what you just heard, obviously just a rough start. It's kind of a rough game overall. It's one of those games you have to chalk up and just say with one word, rough, right?
Well, yeah, and sometimes, I mean, I'd like to say I wish it could be that simple, but maybe it should be that simple. We talk about in order for us to be successful, we have to be the more physical team. Last night we weren't. So, we're going to fix the scheme things, but we've also got to fix some of the things going on between our ears too. Just playing fast football. We got to get back to that.
The Carson Sarda and the Aberdeen running attack kind of proved to be an issue. It's kind of what's the opinion, Coach Olson, from kind of the ground level of the coaching staff of what you were seeing on the field?
Well, I thought at times we're in good spots, and other times, we weren't. And I agree full-heartedly with what Coach Muth said. They were way more physical. So just kind of in a roundabout way, kind of just a generality of the night on defense. When you're out there, you got to hit your spots. When they have a dynamic running back like they do in Sarda, he's going to break away. I thought in the first few series that we did a pretty good job, and then whether they made some adjustments and whatnot, then we just kind of let it get away from us. But we got to get back to some fundamentals, and like Coach said, just got to play fast, play physical. And can we do it? We have the team to do it.
Yeah.
But they just got to change the mindset, and we're running out of time, and so we have a good football team, and on all sides of the ball. We just got to show up, and it's going to be one of those things that we'll get it fixed, and we have a good group of seniors, and they like to compete, so we'll get back to work here in a little bit.
And then offensively for Yankton, it seems like a lot of times lasts about 4 games or so, especially, but the chains are moving. They're moving a lot, and a lot of, I would say, but outside of the 20s, right? It's really moving. It just seems when you get kind of into that red zone area, things kind of are sputtering a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And some of that too is, so the closer and closer you get to November, you got to be able to run the football. You got to be able to stop the run. Those are the 2 things you got to do if you're going to be successful going into November. And some of that is we've got to be a little bit better down, between, like you said, between the 20s and, making sure that we're more physical up front. The other thing too is we've got to be willing and able to also check into the right play. And there's glimmers of that. So last night we were on the goal line and we've got our heavy set in, and Rugg didn't like the look, so he checked it to Flood. So that's a pass, which we normally don't pass out of that set. It's just, and we executed the play, but we get a penalty for an illegal men downfield, where those types of things, we just have to be locked in. On offense, defense, and special teams, we know what we're supposed to do, and I know our guys know what they're supposed to do. It's just the why and the how they're doing it that we got to fix. So,
was there another illegal man downfield? The ball was that like the 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Do we have the fastest lineman in the state?
So on that play, what happened was our right guard released. It was the play that was called was an outside zone play. So he was covered. He released to get upfield, and he's got to sprint upfield to catch that linebacker who's scraping in that play. And so he did what he was coached to do. The problem is the communication. We communicated, we just didn't communicate it well enough. And so take your outside zone step and just hang out on the line of scrimmage rather than get downfield. So it's one of those things. I remember, when we started getting into this RPO stuff, I told our linemen, if you get called for an eligible downfield, I'll take every one of you out for a steak dinner. And the officials have done a very good job of changing with the game, because the way they were doing it before was essentially cheating. And so they're keen to that. And they have to lock in on it. And like I said, we have to know how to execute those things and maybe why we're doing it. And so it's definitely, there's enough to work on, and we got to get started on that.
Couple of positive notes. Gavin Swanson returns, and just how nice is it to have the bowling ball back in the arsenal?
Yeah, and just having Swanee around, just as a player, as a a teammate, when you're injured, just kind of happens that you end up kind of just staying off in the periphery, and he did a good job of keeping himself involved, but just having his attitude out on the field makes a difference. And the one thing I love about him is you don't ever have to wonder where he's at effort-wise, because he's going to give you everything he's got.
And then you call him Steady Eddie, but he plays both sides of the ball. And Coach Olson, before we talk about the receiving record portion, which Tyler Solar did break last night, but I'm just noticing him and Cody Oswald also returned to the lineup last night, and big factor for the Yankton secondary, kind of in that hybrid position.
Yeah, absolutely. We needed Cody's physicality to set the edge and whatnot. And so it's good to have him back. He made a few dynamic plays for us. Then Tyler Solar, back there, we're kind of fragile in some spots, and he's just a smart kid. We can put him at corner, we can put him at safety, and feel very comfortable with our game plan and our scheme going forward. So he's a very, very talented, very special kid, and he does it in the right way. You look at our team, you'd be like, you start pointing at who the players are for someone from the outside is, and you probably wouldn't pick out Tyler Solar until you saw him practice and play the game. Then you're like, wow, this kid's good.
And obviously, I know you never want to put a ceiling or anything, because everyone can keep improving, but is Lucas Kamshoff kind of where you thought he would be when you put him kind of in this hybrid position? He's just outstanding open field tackles.
Yeah, you know what? We just had to get our best athletes on the field, and Lucas is a really good athlete. And over the course of the season, he's just kept on continuing to progress, and that's exactly kind of what we're hoping for. But I would say even better than expected. He just has that field sense, and being a quarterback, I think he just kind of gets routes and kind of gets where the down and distance where the quarterback is probably should throw it, and he jumped that screen, he read that screen, and I thought he's just fingertips away from a pick six. But he's been very lucky to have him in that linebacker spot for us this year for sure.
And I know you guys like us in the media to care about the records so you guys can focus on the game. But Tyler Solar is number 1 in receiving all time for Yankton High School. Congratulations to Tyler Solar, but just kind of open-ended. Any observations of just that guy's career?
The kid's done everything we've asked him to do. And a lot of times, especially, we have pretty high expectations. And so when you've got a kid that started as a freshman, obviously expectations are going to be pretty high. And it's just human nature. Sometimes those expectations don't come to fruition. But with Tyler, he's exactly who we thought he was going to be. I can remember that first game, that he played as a freshman, thinking, I don't really know if this is a good idea playing a freshman in a varsity game. I don't know if he belongs. The light's
like
too
125
bright.
pounds.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if this is going to work out so well. But at that time, he needed to play, and he was the best guy. He won the job. And his first, I don't know if it was his first catch, but it was one of his first catches he made. It was on our sideline. It was a one-handed catch, and I was like, I think we even said it on the radio. We're like, I guess the lights aren't too bright, and that's the way they've been his whole career. He just he's a lot of fun to coach. He you get to go to work with kids and you get to know them a little bit, and just outside of just being a good football player and being our number one and receiver, he's just a great kid.
Here out on a short week, Thursday night football. What are some points of emphasis for either of you with the short practice week?
Well, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but we got to stop the run and we have to score. I mean, those are our goals going in, and then also physicality. Scheme-wise, I'll let Coach Olson speak to that a little bit, what we're going to do defensively, but everything starts and ends with physicality and playing fast, and so we've got to get back to that.
As far as defensive-wise, we got to stop the run. And so we'll be geared up, for that. They do also have a passing attack that they've been probably more in the mode this season of doing. So they got some special players as well. So we just gotta be ready for that. But I think our secondary is coached up real well by Coach Colpitz, and so it's going to start with stopping the run and supporting the offense for their chance to get back on the field and do their thing. So looking forward to it. I think our kids' mindsets. We took some pretty heavy lumps. Some pretty disappointing games, frustrating games where kids could just shut down, especially high school kids. But so far, I mean, they've bounced back. They come in with I almost said with fire and ice in their veins, and they're ready to roll and go catch a tiger here and in front of a home crowd, and they want to make a lasting impression on our especially the seniors with their last official home game, come up on Thursday night.
And actually, not even a really question, more of an observation, but I was thinking about it when you guys were talking about Huron. It is kind of, any team can beat any team in 11AA, but that brings me to a point of how improved is 11AA actually? While records might not look that great when you look at the main body of the standings, there's teams that, I'm not going to try to pinpoint too many of them, but there's teams that were usually on the bottom almost every year. But look at Spearfish, and there's teams that are improving.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and I think a big part of that is like Sturgis, for example, is a good example of them. I mean, guys that are putting in a lot of work and you're starting to see it pay off. And so it's there's really no, and you can look at our schedule as the epitome of that. There's no off week ever. And so we got to be ready to go back to work. We got Huron next on the schedule, and we got to get ready to take care of business.
All right, coaches, go get it started. Appreciate you joining us here on the Coach's Corner.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Bryce.
All right, we'll continue talking Yankton Bucks football when we come back.
Think about how people really see you. The kid at the drive-thru just sees a coffee drinker.
Please move forward.
Your local barista sees the person who loves a smiley face in their latte.
See you next time.
It's kind of the same way with insurance. Other insurance companies just see a customer, but a State Farm agent sees more. They see you as a neighbor. Your State Farm agent is here to get to know who you really are so they can help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Rhonda Westland at 665-4411 today to learn more.
As a proud community bank, Core Trust delivers more than just checking and savings accounts. We invest in the cities and towns where we live and work by volunteering to coach youth sports teams, supporting local charities and the arts with our time and resources. Whether we live in a rural town in South Dakota or a suburban city in Minnesota, it's a place we call home. Core Trust Bank. Raise your expectations.
Member FDIC.
Do you have dry, sore, or irritated eyes? If so, you may have dry eye. At Vision Care Associates, we offer a simple, fast, and non-surgical procedure to treat black glands in your eyelids that can help your eyes to feel comfortable again. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Fieser to find out about dry eye treatment with our newest technology.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MTRC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. MTRCSmithInsurance.com.
Support a local business that supports schools and events and provides fuel discounts for Yankton's largest employers, Triple Time Rudy's. At Triple Time Rudy's, you get that local friendly feel and also a unique offering of products. You'll find quality South Dakota products like Dimmick cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers, plus quality fuel products too. Conveniently located at 17th and Broadway for your daily fill-ups and convenience needs. Pull in to Triple Time Rudy's today.
Buying or selling your home is one of the biggest decisions you may make in your lifetime. I'm Deb Speck with Vision Real Estate, and I'm ready to help guide you with professional advice from before the listing until after the close. Not only will you get real estate knowledge, but also we provide moving boxes and an enclosed courtesy trailer to help make the move just a little easier. Call me today at 664-5555.
It's the season of getting cozy, the season of warm apple ciders and sweet pumpkin pies. Before it's gone, be sure to get in the car, rev up that engine, put your pedal to the metal, and burn rubber before heading straight to the games. Fall sports are back, and First Dakota is sitting right up front with you on this adrenaline roller coaster. Raise your hands with every game-saving point, shout out your lungs when it kicks into overtime, and enjoy the ride of the season. Make some noise with First Dakota National Bank. Open a new account online today at firstdakotanationalbank.com. Member FDIC.
Kids seem to always be misplacing things: socks, shoes, backpacks, books, you name it. So when it comes to important things like EpiPens for serious allergies or inhalers for breathing problems, make sure there's always some on hand when those items go missing or run out. Hi, this is Michael from Yankton Rexall. We pride ourselves on providing accurate prescriptions and appropriate medical information for your child's health. Good health attributes to good students. Yankton Rexall, your hometown pharmacy since 1923, located in the Meridian District.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. We continue talking Yankton Bucks football. Coach Terry Huber, Coach Brandon Kolopitz. Coaches, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bryce. Obviously, started off the same way I started off with my segment with Muth and Olsen, but just a rough game for the Bucks last night. Falling to Aberdeen, 29-7 for those that are just now joining us at Creighton Worth Field. And offensively, Yankton's had moments in the last four games where, they're moving the chains, right? Especially within the 20s.
Yep.
But they just kind of start to sputter out a little bit, whether it's penalties, turnovers. It just kind of seems like the wheels kind of come off the tracks a little bit, just as of late.
Yep.
Anything about that?
Absolutely. And that was one of my my points to the guys, before the game, was consistency. We have some really good highs, and then we have some rough lows, and you can't bite on either of those, especially being an up-tempo offense. Like it's within seconds the next play. You got to stay consistent and solid throughout the entire game. Yes, it's fun to celebrate and all that stuff, and it's really easy to get down on yourself, but you can't allow that to happen. You got to be, mentally strong enough to just stay consistent throughout the game. On those drives, then you see, like you said, those penalties or maybe turnovers, that kind of stuff. They almost get jitters, because they're riding that high a little bit too much. They need to stay a little more consistent, and that's something we're going to work on so that we can be better at it.
Rugby had a rough night. Not necessarily his performance, but it just seems that he didn't really have a lot of options on the field, consistent options in the receiving game. And I was talking to Kolpitz actually in the post game, kind of alluded to a little bit of a lot of their guys were able to drop into coverage.
Yep.
Is that the main culprit?
Yeah, absolutely. They were able to do a lot of work with their defensive line. Those guys were solid last night. Probably one of the best D lines we've seen this year. And with them being able to not send linebackers and get the job done with those four guys up front, that's a big problem for us. Anytime that our O-line is not doing their job to the point where we can get protection and they have to send blitzes to get pressure, and they can drop 7-8 guys in the coverage, that's really tough to get that ball out, which obviously it helped our running game, but you got to be able to do both. You can't just choose one or the other. You got to be able to do both in our offense.
Well, I can't leave it at just he had a rough night, but rugby has still great nights, even with or just the plays that he's still able to make. I am more impressed every week with even when things are breaking down, maybe nothing's downfield, of his ability to extend a play like 3 different times in one motion.
I think we talked about it earlier in the year. It's hard not to talk about rugby every week because he's that guy. He's so poised. He's able to comprehend what's going on. He's able to think through it. And he makes great plays. Like you said, he's extending it. Generally that ball's out and thrown away real quick by any other quarterback, and he's able to extend it, give his life, give his opportunities. Some of them go our way, some of them don't pan out, but he's still giving the opportunity. And hats off to that guy. I have a lot of trust in him. If he sees something out there, I'm absolutely going to go for it because I trust him with everything I have. So.
And as you might believe, I don't spend hours upon hours in a dark room watching film of the Yankton offensive line. But I will say, just from a broadcasting perspective, it seems that it's kind of a tale of 2 halves, if you will, lately. I'm kind of looking at the last 5 games, right? It's been 4 of the 5 have been pretty rough for Yankton. They've been in some games, but you don't need to tell you're on the field. But this kind of seems like they're either getting really good push for the running game or really able to anchor themselves down for the pass protection in the first half. And second half, or adjustments being made, or is it really a case of you're really relying on a lot of more athletic offensive linemen, aka smaller offensive linemen? They get worn down.
Yeah. So I think a lot of our issue is just consistently understanding that we need to be that physical group. Getting to the point where the play may be 2 seconds in and then just stopping your block. You can't do that stuff. We preach it all the time through the echo of the whistle. And we got some guys that are doing that. One guy who has developed this year into one of our best pass blockers is Luke Renato. That guy, he's gonna work his tail off every time. When we got in those real deep, unfortunate, like 3rd and 20, 2nd and 50, whatever it may be, and they're able to line those defensive ends up in 9s and just come at him from 10 yards, and he's still able to wear that block and then continue to block for 5 seconds in. That's a kid who he shows through his play. He's not a very talkative guy, and everybody knows it, which is fine because he's showing it through his play that he's willing to do whatever he can for this group, and he is a first-year offensive lineman who's showing up and doing that. So we're doing some shuffling around. We're gonna figure out which group wants to be out there. That's also been a little bit tough. Is I kind of preach a mentality I learned while playing offensive line is that you got to be like a fist. Your 5 fingers working together because you're going into a fight and you got to bring your fist when you're coming into that fight. And if you're going in there with 1 or 2 fingers, those fingers are gonna get broken. And so it's a mentality that we got to get 5 guys who want that mentality together so they can work together, which is tough right now.
Last offensive focused point, and then we'll turn over to Colpitts for a little bit. But the bowling ball has returned. Gavin Swanson is in the backfield. But before you start talking about him, because we're going to talk about some Gavin Swanson, I do want to, because we didn't really get to last week because it was a Saturday game, which, by the way, is still just whatever. But Shaler Platt did a really excellent job stepping in with the majority of the carries and has had a beast of a game up in Sioux Falls. So I want to give him credit before we turn it over to Gavin Swanson has returned. Go.
Absolutely. Shaler Platt is a hard-nosed kid who he's very literal. You tell him to do something and he is going to go do it. There's never any question about it. There's no thinking about it. It's just, I'm going to go do that job, which is super fun. I really enjoy coaching that. He stepped in last week and he had himself a heck of a game. This week, obviously, like you said, with Swanee being back, he was hungry. He's been hungry for a couple weeks. Being sidelined with that knee was really tough on him, but he bounced back and had a phenomenal night last night. We didn't use Platt as much last night, obviously, with Swanee just going one way and Platt going 2. We tried to keep him a little fresher on the defense. Which
got
I
a sack last night.
Yeah, well, yeah, he looked like he was doing a pretty good job, and I think when Swanee gets his conditioning a little bit back, obviously that goes. He has some issues right now that he's just gotta, he's gonna wear that out in this next week, and he'll be back to 100% full strength on both physical running and conditioning. So,
Coach Colpitts' turn. Secondary was kind of obviously a huge part of the run defense, but it seemed to have some problems last night. Getting in. Is it just the amount of? I guess I'm just going to open it up and just kind of say, what did you see on the field level of trying to stop that run from Aberdeen?
Yeah, so
there's so many different aspects to stopping the run, and it really comes down to gap assignment and physicality. And, you know, the second word I used there, physicality, we just didn't have enough of that last night. Whether we're lined up in the perfect call or not, our guys have to play downhill. And it just seemed like instead of us taking the fight to them, Aberdeen was taking the fight to us for at least second quarter on. First quarter, I thought our guys did a really good job. You know, maybe give up a first down, but continued to battle and got to stop. But after that, it just, I don't know. I'm sure Coach Muth will allude to this today at our walkthrough for special teams. But just as a unit, when things didn't go well, it seemed like the energy and the life was sucked out of the team, even though, you know, we're still in the game. It was bizarre. We were down 2 scores. It was 22-7 with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, and you would have thought that we're losing by 40. That type of stuff can't happen. And I know it's tough when you're playing a team that's running it down your throat and they're having some success. But with our offense, the way they can click in a very quick amount of time, they're very well coached. Coach Huber's going to get them in the right calls. We have to be ready to score quick, and on defense, we have to be ready to go 3 and out. And 2 scores can happen in a blink of an eye for our team. And so that was of all the things, physicality and just our mentality when things didn't quite go our way. Those are the 2 most disappointing, just as an overall team last night. But like you said, stopping the run, we've struggled all year, and a little bit of that comes down to, you know, we don't have a lot of big linemen. I mean, I think Coach Schwach, who's our D-line coach, he said it best. D-line is a game of physics. You know, if he's 300 pounds going against a 200-pound guy, you know, he's going to win more times than not. And, you know, we saw
especially late. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially as the game goes on, they're going to wear out the heavy body. You can push against that for a little while, but the more you push against that, he has to work a lot less hard than you do. And so you saw a little bit of that. But it's just tough. I mean, we have to get better at it. And as of right now, I don't have an answer for you because I haven't watched all the film. But at the end of the day, it comes down to playing downhill and taking the fight to them. And, you know, as a defensive backs coach, you know, we were loading the box. I mean, the only guys that weren't in the box were our corners the entire game. So that tells you that we have 9 in the box to stop the run, and we still were struggling to do it. And the sucky part is, you know, you get so caught up in the run against a team like that, and then that opens up their pass game for that big play to number 6. So across the board, last night was probably the most disappointing game that we've had all year, and we have to get better.
Surprised you were able to see the numbers considering that they had that light yellow on white.
Yeah, it's tough.
So thanks, Aberdeen, for that. From the broadcasting perspective, I think I was accurate on who had the ball between South Rank 6 and Asarda 4. I think I got it right half the time. Near the end, I was just making up names.
Yeah,
like,
I can imagine. It was pretty tough to see.
Hey, there was the extra point, a 2-point conversion. Yeah. Kind of what happened there, but was that also kind of the same thing that happened with T?
So
similar, no?
Different. So that's just, they call that the swinging gate. The formation was the same. They have never ran it this year. We haven't seen it on film once. And so it was a special play that they had designed, I think, just to spite us. I mean, they were prepared, kind of a gimmicky play for them. And, you know, our guys didn't adjust to it. So initially they were set up. And then when they motioned those 2, the receiver and the wing there, they motioned them to the opposite side. No one moved. And when that happened, we were outnumbered, and that's what led to them having success on that play.
I'm going to take blame for it, and here's why. I think they were watching the high definition video of the T game on KYNT TV. They saw it in high definition. They were like, guys, we could do this. So I'm sorry. So I guess I played my part in this, and I apologize.
Yeah.
But no, on a more positive note, with the Yankton secondary, that is a tough secondary that you're working with. Mac Reichen gets banged up, goes back. Rainer Roy, he might be the toughest kid on that team at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he maybe hurt his ribs, wanted to get into his doctor notes, right? But he got banged up, stayed in there. And obviously there's a lot of stuff we talk about, you know, off-mic stuff. Guys are banged up, but they're still pushing through.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the story of this season, which, you know, you don't ever want your guys to get hurt. And we talk about the best day, the best you're ever going to feel in a football season is the first day of practice. I mean, it's going to happen. But you make a really good point. Our guys care about this team, and they care about Yankton football, and they care about being on the field and being there with their teammates. They really do. And even if that means them being at 90%, they're going to do everything they can to be out there to help out. And so credit to the toughness. I mean, not just the DBs, but just everyone on the team has battled this year through. Gosh, we've had more injuries this year than maybe ever, maybe the last 3 years combined. But they've continued to fight and come back and do everything they can. And that's a credit to the way that they attack the training room when they're hurt, being there every day, making sure they're seeing Trevor Woods to get better. And that says a lot about the character of the individuals.
Yeah, that guy's been busy.
Yeah, he has been so busy.
A lot of tape.
Shout out to Trevor Woods. He's done an incredible job this year.
Well, you guys already have a short week here on Thursday, so I'll get you out of here so you can get into film and talk to the team. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Bryce.
All right, we keep talking Yankton Bucks football when we return.
There are a lot of benefits for your small business when you have a relationship with your locally owned and operated The UPS Store. I'm Doug Frederick, manager of the UPS Store of Yankton. Not only do we provide excellent customer service, but we also provide the necessary tools to help your small business thrive. We can help you with everything ing, printing, packing, copying, faxing, freighting, any ing your small business needs, even shredding, notarizing, mailboxing. Every ing for your small business, and of course, shipping. The UPS Store of Yankton, across from Walmart.
Have aches and pains taken you out of your game? At First Chiropractic Centers, we have been helping people get back into their game for nearly 40 years. Whether your game is sports related, or it looks more like gardening, household chores, exercising, or just daily life, if your pain is preventing you from enjoying or participating in your chosen activity, we can help. First Chiropractic Centers, whole health with hands-on healing, with offices in Yankton, Scotland, Hardington, Tyndall, and Wagner.
Oh, I thought we'd never make it.
Me neither. I've never driven in a storm like that before.
Oh, man.
But we're home.
Yeah.
We're just a garage door away from...
Oh, what's the matter?
It's not working.
Why not?
I don't know. Who do I look like? Upper Midwest garage door?
Nah, they're much more handsome.
Don't get stuck in the cold. Before winter hits, call Upper Midwest Garage Door, your authorized Clopay dealer. They'll make sure your doors always go up so they never let you down. Online at uppermidwestgaragedoor.com.
Bring the crew to Pete's Ranch in Yankton. This is Annie, and we have legendary pizza and chicken just waiting for you on our buffet. Let us know what you're craving, and we'll make it fresh and bring you the first slice. Or let us deliver right to your front door. Your locally owned Yankton Pizza Ranch on Broadway, 665-1222.
It's where life tastes better. Surround them up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch.
Whoa, that's good.
Education. That is one of our core values here at Missouri River Associates. Just making a sale is not our number one priority here. Our office is here to educate you on your choices in the insurance world. We are here to guide you in making the right choice for you, your family, or your business. Our agents are honest and transparent with you on your coverages. Let one of our agents show you your options today. Missouri River Associates, 665-6885.
You're listening to The Coaches Show on KYNT and KYNT TV, brought to you by SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. Let's continue talking Yankton Bucks football. Coach Matt Decker is in studio. Coach Hale out today, so I will talk all JV with Coach Decker. Coach, JV season ends the 5-2 record. Well, congrats to you on a very successful season, and Coach Hale, who, as I said, isn't here today, but congratulations. And just kind of overall, how did the season go? I mean, would you say the pipeline to the varsity is strong?
Yeah, I would say that we have some really good athletes on the way up, finishing 5-2. We had an 8-game schedule, and we were really excited coming into the JV season about our schedule, and we had high hopes for these guys. And a few weeks ago I talked about Brookings when that game was canceled. It was good to see that those guys really had confidence in themselves. Our guys, I should say, had confidence in themselves and really wanted to play that game to be 6-2 to end the season, but 5-2 is really good. And overall, I think guys, the JV season is for guys or sophomores and juniors to develop athletically and increase their football knowledge. And I think we had some guys that really did a good job on both sides of the football, increasing their football knowledge and developing physically as well.
How was ending the season at Watertown on the baseball field? Football field. Infield at Watertown Stadium.
It was good. Headed back home and played Watertown JV. We came out strong right away. Coach Hale's offense was driving down, and they got a touchdown right away in the first quarter, and then we forced a safety right away, and that kind of showed us that it was going to be a long game for them. So right away it was 9-0, but then they had a quick turnaround. We struggled a little bit in our secondary. They figured out that they could kind of pass and pick our defense apart a little bit. But, what these guys, I would say a compliment to this group is that with adversity, they know how to rebound from it. So they rebounded and they had key stops, and, we beat Watertown 30-13 and gave up, 2 scores there, and that's pretty good. So it was a good offensive game by Easton Nelson. Frankie Inveld had a really good game that he needed to kind of build his confidence up as he kind of gets rotated in during practices with varsity and Tucker Gilmore. He's kind of Tucker's backup right now. And Jason Ladwig, a freshman, was a stud. He really was. He had a couple touchdown runs, and from a freshman running back, that's pretty sweet. And he had one at the end that was kind of a dagger that was a 51-yard run. So we had guys on both sides of the ball that did well. Our linebacker core with Jace, Trenton Yerke, Bryce Crawl, and Caden Hughes. Those guys are going to develop into some really good linebackers here in the next year. And a lot of those guys are sophomore linebackers too. So it'll be fun to see how these guys develop as they become varsity Bucks.
Yeah, very excited to see that. I would just like to see, the JV players get playing time.
Yeah.
How does that change now when a JV season ends and there's still some varsity season left? Are these guys going to be more on kind of like the scout team? Or how does practice change throughout the week for these guys now?
So usually we have a game on Monday, and varsity guys are kind of scrapping in for the scout teams on Monday. So now it'll change where we'll have a little bit more structure on Monday with a scout team. With these JV guys will play scout team, and that really helps a lot because it gives the varsity a good look as to what the opponent is going to do. So we get them in the opponent's formations. We even have opponent's plays that they'll run and the scout team runs. And so that really does help. It's kind of those little things that'll help out the varsity so that Friday nights they can, adjust to things and help them out as much as possible. But overall, like I said, some of these JV guys might be the next guy in for varsity too. So it is one of those things where, they might play a JV game on Monday, and Friday night, if somebody goes down, they could be playing varsity too. So it's good to get the experience of playing football games.
Excuse me. Well, I always do enjoy talking about subvarsity, whether it's JV or ninth, and talking about the next varsity Bucks, as you put it. And but again, I want to say congratulations on a very successful season overall to you and Coach Hales. Your first season at the helm of JV, obviously being ninth last year, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And so you've seen it from every level at this point, and I think our program's in good hands. And appreciate you. It's not over yet, but you'll still be in here for varsity and stuff. But for JV wise, I want to say I appreciate you always coming in here and giving us a scoop on the JV Bucks.
Absolutely. It's been fun. And with these sophomores, when I came into Yankton, my first coaching position was a 7th grade football coach with, Easton Nelson's class, Bryce Crawl's class. So these sophomores. And so I've been able to see these guys grow up since 7th graders. And that's kind of the fun part is you see these guys develop as students, as athletes, and as people too. And so it's kind of fun to see that, build the relationships and, 5-2 for these guys. We're pretty proud of them and how they are as Yankton Bucks, and they represent the program really well.
Coach Muth needs to start having his coaching staff start at like elementary, assigning pads to the kids, like linebacker. Yeah. You're going to be a receiver, and just keep working them up as well. But it's been exciting talking JV football, and you can tell my voice is really starting to go out. So that's why I'm going to wrap up this segment. But any closing thoughts on the JV season?
Nope, just really proud of the guys. 5-2 is a great record. The future's bright here in Yankton.
All right, Coach Matt Decker, thanks for joining us. We'll talk Yankton 9th grade football around the corner.
SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab in Yankton has a newer research-based mindset when it comes to treating musculoskeletal aches and pains. We take the time to figure out where the pain is coming from and educate our patients on what they can do to improve their functional range of motion. We administer a range of treatments and preventative approaches that are customized to each individual patient and their health goals. Visit us on our website at swatchiropracticandrehab.com. When you need to feel better, visit SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab out by the lake on West Highway 52.
In the lab or up on stage, Mount Marty University has a place for you. From athletes and artists to academics and alumni, together we cheer each other on and work to make a difference in the lives of those around us. Show your spirit at a university that celebrates what makes us different. Schedule a tour at Mount Marty University by visiting mountmarty.edu or calling 605-668-1545.
It's time for a new kind of credit card, one that's with you where you are, wherever life leads. The Evergreen Credit Card by F&BO earns you unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase, every day, every step of the way. For important information and limitations regarding the rewards program, visit fnbo.com/evergreen for complete details. From the great big small bank, ever ready for you to earn more so you can do more. Only with Evergreen by FNBO. Learn more today at fnbo.com/evergreen.
A radio commercial for hearing loss is tricky. You see, there are two scenarios. Either it's you or it could be the loved one you're with. Here's how to find out. If the radio is deafeningly loud right now, it's probably not you. If it's not deafeningly loud, look over at your loved one wearing earplugs. Maybe it's time to visit the hearing experts of Vera Medical Group Audiology Yankton. Doctors Matt Rumsey and Kendra Bailey can get you back to never missing a beat during a conversation. They offer the latest technology and free 2-week test drives. Call 605-655-1220.
Truxedo Truck Bed Covers is proud to call Yankton home and be a part of such a strong local community. Truxedo's commitment to excellence in producing the best product available drives us forward. And it's a commitment we share with Yankton High School football. And that's why we're strong supporters of our Yankton Bucks. So let's unite, pack those stands, and cheer on our Bucks to victory. Be loud, be proud, be Yankton.
Olson Pest Technicians is a family-owned business since 1966. And with over 50 years of pest management, they understand your issues, and their well-trained team will help you solve your pest problems. Issues with cockroaches, ants, bedbugs, bats, termites, spiders, rats, mice, or other creepy crawling pests? Give your home a fresh start and use the proven method of fumigation to take care of your pest problem. Olson's Pest Technicians will thoroughly get rid of pests so you can rest easy again. Call Olson Pest today, 800-KILL-BUG. That's 1-800-KILBUGS.
Think about how people really see you. The kid at the drive-thru just sees a coffee drinker.
Please move forward.
Your local barista sees the person who loves a smiley face in their latte.
See you next time.
It's kind of the same way with insurance. Other insurance companies just see a customer, but a State Farm agent sees more. They see you as a neighbor. Your State Farm agent is here to get to know who you really are so they can help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Rhonda Westland at 665-4411 today to learn more.
As a proud community bank, Core Trust delivers more than just checking and savings accounts. We invest in the cities and towns where we live and work by volunteering to coach youth sports teams, supporting local charities and the arts with our time and resources. Whether we live in a rural town in South Dakota or a suburban city in Minnesota, it's a place we call home. Core Trust Bank. Raise your expectations.
Member FDIC.
Hey, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. Let's talk Yankton Bucks 9th grade football. Coach Savvy, Coach Swak. Coaches, good morning.
Morning.
Obviously, not the way you want to end a season, but a 42-0 loss at Sioux City East. Ending the season, though, with a 4-4 record, and overall call that a success. Obviously, your whole purpose is building these guys for the next levels, and overall, we'll start with Coach Savvy. Would you say that you've done that?
Yeah, we always talk about how freshman year it's all about experience and, really kind of learning a little more of the varsity offensive, plays and things like that, and just getting into the real fundamental stuff that goes along with everything, receivers running routes and running backs, hitting holes or, just all those fundamental things with every position. And so, like we keep telling them, it's all about learning. You learn from wins, you learn from losses. Finishing the season, 4-4 with some of the things we had going on, losing our starting quarterback first game and a couple of our guys being pulled up, which is always great to see. And then it gave other guys a chance to play. So that experience and the more reps they got at this freshman level, hopefully carries over into, next year on up.
And these freshmen are seeing these JV guys get filled in the varsity level. It just keeps trickling up, so to speak. And Gavin Swanson returns last night. I want to talk to you about that. You handle running backs, and how nice is it to have him in the backfield?
Yeah, it was so, we just kept grinning. I walked in the locker room when we got to Crane and, seeing him dressed and, just grinning. He was so excited to finally get back out there and play. And it was so good to see him back in uniform and then out on the field. And then for him to, play the way he did too, because you never know coming off that. They might mentally, be a little bit hesitant and a little bit, unsure about things. But he had a good week of practice. But you really don't know till you get in the game. But, he was cutting, he was running hard and pushing the pile, all that stuff that he was doing before. So that was great to see.
And credit to Shaler Platt. I didn't get to talk to you about it last week. Shaler Platt really stepping in and getting the majority of those carries. And obviously Cirque had a lot of carries as well. But Shaler Platt, 116 yards up at Sioux Falls Roosevelt. That was his biggest game of the year. And, Yankton was right in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shaler's a big reason why. He's a tough runner, and you don't lose anything when you're, Swanee needs a break and you put Shaler in, you're still going to get a tough, hard-nosed runner with some quickness and everything too. And then you can throw in a little bit with, Cirque as well. He gets in there. He's fast. He gets the ball in his hands and gets some space. Not too many guys going to run him down. So it's a good combination that we have at running back, and to have all of them healthy is great going forward now.
And then Coach Swak on your varsity note, handling the defensive line, kind of a bittersweet note. The good part about it is really started off the game strong because it's such an athletic defensive line, but not a lot of size on that line. But that kind of went into my bitter part of that, is that it seemed to get worn down. And we were talking to some coaches before you guys got in here, and something that you had said at practice about it's kind of, it is a game of physics. After a while, if you're a 300-pound offensive lineman, you're going to be wearing down that D line that's maybe 240 or so. It's kind of overall talk about your defensive line.
Yeah, well, like I said, science teacher's perspective, and apparently that physics comment hit home. But
it's made its rounds.
Yes, you can only generate so much speed and explosion for so long. Eventually, mass is the other part of that equation with momentum. So they fought hard. And same thing. We got Peyton Eustace playing a lot as a freshman. Growing pains as a freshman, obviously, and every year he gets to be in the weight room is going to be a positive. Tyson Prouty converted D lineman. Same thing, very athletic guys. KYNT Star started plugging up the middle there towards the end, just staying low. So, there's one where we don't have to worry about the mass there. So, good learning experience. They're never going to stop fighting. Just a few things to always clean up and get on to Huron, I guess. Maybe get a chance to actually rush a passer a little bit.
And then Coach Savvy kind of already went over the offensive side of ninth grade. So same kind of thing to you, just kind of your overarching season end thoughts on the defense of where they started to where they're at now.
So good terminology, especially with the cornerbacks. And I don't know, it goes back to like my farming days where kind of make your $1,000 mistakes early on when there's not too much value to avoid making $10,000 or $100,000 mistakes
down the line. So
is anyone writing these down? You know, he has his physics comment.
Well, the other coaches, we'll get a journal going. But now hoping that, okay, they've seen a wheel route. They've seen, well, darn Sioux City East ran that hook ladder, which hopefully we never see again. That was maddening. They ran it about to perfection, but kind of just learning, okay, we messed up on the screen, heard the wrong blitz call. A couple plays are in good spots, just need to get a little taller, which they might. But all in all, just got the terminology down, got the formations down. We're hoping next week, a few of them, or quite a few of them, should stick around for varsity. Just get a little more learning, maybe get in a little bit as scout players and keep up that individual stuff to keep them growing.
Well, I want to thank you both for multiple times this season, taking the time to come in here. Obviously, get some pizza and converse with the coaches. I know that's what you guys enjoy, but also coming to the studio and talking about the ninth grade team. It's important to watch these younger players develop, and they're going to be all future varsity bucks, hopefully. So I just want to say I appreciate both of you always taking the time for us. And before we conclude, kind of for either of you, closing thoughts on the season.
Well, one thing I will say too, you know, we talk about, you know, the different challenges we had this year, and, you know, losing Tate Bestie that first game, but, you know, I got to give a shout out, you know, Easton Feeser is the one who stepped up, and it was our quarterback all year long. And he's, you know, hardly played the position before a little bit, but can't say enough about how he came in and helped us at that, you know, obviously position, and worked hard all year long, and just improved. And that's going to pay off, you know, later on too. Somebody like him at, you know, I said next year, you know, he goes back to his, you know, usual, you know, kind of receiver position and stuff, but they know that they got a backup in case they need it in him with the experience that he got. So that's just one of those examples of a kid stepping up and filling a spot that we needed. And other guys too this year, we've changed a lot of positions. Guys have stepped in, and you just see them grow and improve throughout the year. And that's what we want to see, is these guys just progressing as the season goes on. And next year it's going to be great. The competition that they're going to get is going to be great, because that's going to push them even more and stuff. So like always, it's always going to be fun to see them these next 3 years and how they do up at the varsity level. So,
well, appreciate it, coaches, and go Bucks.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right, we'll talk Yankton Gazelles volleyball around the corner.
Do you have dry, sore, or irritated eyes? If so, you may have dry eye. At Vision Care Associates, we offer a simple, fast, and non-surgical procedure to treat black glands in your eyelids that can help your eyes to feel comfortable again. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Feeser to find out about dry eye treatment with our newest technology.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MT&RC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. MTRCSmithInsurance.com.
Support a local business that supports schools and events and provides fuel discounts for Yankton's largest employers, Triple Time Rudy's. At Triple Time Rudy's, you get that local friendly feel and also a unique offering of products. You'll find quality South Dakota products like Dimmick cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers, plus quality fuel products too. Conveniently located at 17th and Broadway for your daily fill-ups and convenience needs. Pull in to Triple Time Rudy's today.
Buying or selling your home is one of the biggest decisions you may make in your lifetime. I'm Deb Speck with Vision Real Estate, and I'm ready to help guide you with professional advice from before the listing until after the close. Not only will you get real estate knowledge, but also we provide moving boxes and an enclosed courtesy trailer to help make the move just a little easier. Call me today at 664-5555.
It's the season of getting cozy, the season of warm apple ciders and sweet pumpkin pies. Before it's gone,
Be sure to get in the car, rev up that engine, put your pedal to the metal, and burn rubber before heading straight to the games. Fall sports are back, and First Dakota is sitting right up front with you on this adrenaline roller coaster. Raise your hands with every game-saving point, shout out your lungs when it kicks into overtime, and enjoy the ride of the season. Make some noise with First Dakota National Bank. Open a new account online today at firstdakotanationalbank.com. Member FDIC.
Kids seem to always be misplacing things: socks, shoes, backpacks, books, you name it. So when it comes to important things like EpiPens for serious allergies or inhalers for breathing problems, make sure there's always some on hand when those items go missing or run out. Hi, this is Michael from Yankton Rexall. We pride ourselves on providing accurate prescriptions and appropriate medical information for your child's health. Good health attributes to good students. Yankton Rexall, your hometown pharmacy since 1923, located in the Meridian District.
There are a lot of benefits for your small business when you have a relationship with your locally owned and operated The UPS Store. I'm Doug Frederick, manager of the UPS Store of Yankton. Not only do we provide excellent customer service, but we also provide the necessary tools to help your small business thrive. We can help you with everything ing: printing, packing, copying, faxing, freighting, any ing your small business needs, even shredding, notarizing, mailboxing. Every ing for your small business, and of course, shipping. The UPS Store of Yankton, across from Walmart.
Have aches and pains taken you out of your game? At First Chiropractic Centers, we have been helping people get back into their game for nearly 40 years. Whether your game is sports related, or it looks more like gardening, household chores, exercising, or just daily life, if your pain is preventing you from enjoying or participating in your chosen activity, we can help. First Chiropractic Centers, whole health with hands-on healing, with offices in Yankton, Scotland, Hardington, Tyndall, and Wagner.
Oh, I thought we'd never make it.
Me neither. I've never driven in a storm like that before.
Oh, man.
But we're home.
Yeah.
We're just a garage door away from...
Oh, what's the matter?
It's not working.
Why not?
I don't know. Who do I look like? Upper Midwest garage door?
Nah, they're much more handsome.
Don't get stuck in the cold. Before winter hits, call Upper Midwest Garage Door, your authorized Clopay dealer. They'll make sure your doors always go up so they never let you down. Online at uppermidwestgaragedoor.com.
Bring the crew to Pete's Ranch in Yankton. This is Annie, and we have legendary pizza and chicken just waiting for you on our buffet. Let us know what you're craving, and we'll make it fresh and bring you the first slice. Or let us deliver right to your front door. Your locally owned Yankton Pizza Ranch on Broadway, 665-1222.
It's where life tastes better. Surround them up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch.
Whoa, that's good.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. Let's talk Yankton Gazelles of volleyball. Coach Chelsea Law in studio. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so we have Aberdeen Central at the Summit Activity Center. Before we talk about that, let's rewind a little bit to Thursday.
Sure.
Up in Pierre, everyone's favorite place to travel to, mine included. But yeah, it was overall, just kind of talk about it. It was three sets,
Yep.
but you said the last set was pretty close.
Yeah, we in the first couple of sets, we came out really strong. Like we were there probably till about 0.10, and then those unforced errors, just where we are in control of the game, right? So Pierre really didn't have to do anything too special. We were just kind of doing things ourselves, which can definitely affect your mental game. It is a mental game, and that's kind of the battle that we've been having in some of those tough matches, is kind of pushing through the mental game of volleyball, right? So set 3 came out, got in the groove. I think they kind of saw some of the things that they could easily clean up, right? It's not as if that's a tough fix. I guess easier said than done when it is kind of like up in your head, right? But if you can take away one serve, one less shank, one less hit, put it somewhere else, if you can clean up one thing, that's going to cut those things in half. And that definitely happened set 3. They persevered, like it's there, and there's wonderful things happening. Set 3, very, very good. They left feeling like, okay, there we are, because you want to have that good energy now going into, we got 1 day of rest, long night, huge travel, 1 day of rest. We want to come in. How do you pick up from set 3? Start away today for set 1. It's kind of what we want to do today.
Yeah. So aside from your end of the court, or side of the net, I should say, if you're trying to get cute,
Right.
what can you tall me about Aberdeen Central? Are they another tall team?
If you look at their roster, I'm pretty sure they got a couple of 6-footers. I mean, I think we have taller people, but if you're rounding up,
Yeah.
as we said, if you round it up a little too much, but yeah, if you look at the roster, I don't think it's like a Sioux Falls Christian or an Gorman type of thing, but there's a couple tall people on there too. So, they'll get your outsides kind of swinging. The block will be there. But like you said, we acknowledge those things and are aware of those things. But if we can't control what we're doing on our side of the court, it's not going to matter.
What is going on in Yankton? We need to figure this out because we have athletes in Yankton. So I'm not taking away from anyone.
Absolutely. Right.
We have athletes in Yankton. However, look around, and if you're talking football, it's everyone else's line seems to be bigger, right? Volleyball seems to be taller, basketball taller. What's going on?
I don't know. Is there something that they're feeding the children?
Right? What exactly food plan are we on?
Vermilion's got it. I mean, we're only 30 minutes away, so
yeah, we have to figure it out.
Yep.
No, but another ESD game, as you said, against Aberdeen. Obviously, just how important is it to you and the girls? Maybe not. Obviously, looking for the victory, but just to have a good performance.
We do, and that's today. I'm talking to Pierre, their radio, their radio. I'm talking to him, and he said, "I'm looking at all your guys' scores all the time, and you are there. Like these are 25-22, 25-21. You're there all the time, which is a wonderful thing to have. But being able to finish, we want to. Yes, you want to win." But we want to play to win. We don't want to play not to lose. That's kind of the mentality that we're trying to have right now. So did I answer the question?
I think so.
I think I did. I wandered off for a second.
Well, yeah, it's kind of an open-ended question, though.
Okay.
Just kind of about like, you're looking, what kind of performance you're looking for, and you answered
Where I was going with this was he asked kind of the same question, and I just said our goal every single game is we want to play the best volleyball that we know we can play. So set 3, it's there. It's there, but how we want consistency now. Consistency to do set 3 over and over and over again. So that's going to be a control thing, playing comfortably, but yet playing aggressive, right? Playing with, like you want to go, don't play timid, but you want to make a smart shot, right? So doing all the things that collectively come together, set 3, more of that.
Younger guy up in Pierre?
No, he just turned 50, he said on Wednesday. It was his 50th birthday.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
the younger guy up there, KCCR, John Winkler. That's my boy.
Oh,
that's our sister station up there.
Oh, nice.
Here.
So
it's always nice to collaborate with them whenever we can.
Must have been your brother station.
The brother station.
Is that a thing?
It is now.
Okay. I'm going to copyright that.
All right, we need to figure that out, and then we need to figure out that food plan thing.
Yeah.
We'll get them both figured out. Hey, traveling to Rapid City
next weekend.
At Central High School. You'll take on Spearfish, and then obviously host Central. Not host. You'll take on the host, Rapid City Central, all on Friday. And what do you like? Oh, and then on Saturday, the next day, Sturgis and Stevens and Box Elder. You're gonna have 3 games. Saturday.
I think we have 3 games Friday and 2 on Saturday. Because we do
it on the schedule. It's flipped. It's 2 on Friday, 3 on Saturday.
Okay, well, we usually. I guess I didn't really super look at it. I mean,
it just could be wrong. I don't know.
I know where I'm going, but historically, we have done 3 on Friday and 2 on Saturday. But they could have very well flipped because
I know where I'm going, and we're gonna win.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
The mindset.
We typically we have gone West River and done fairly well. A lot of other ESD teams and other teams have played a lot of the West River teams. We have yet to do that, so we're hungry for a win. And sometimes you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself with that, but we know we want to win. We just have to make sure we're playing the best volleyball we can play.
And that's just a credit to not just Yankton volleyball, but South Dakota volleyball, as you're going up against similar size schools or schools within the same realm. And you're talking like Norfolk, and you're talking like a lot of these Nebraska schools.
Right.
And Yankton's had great success facing Nebraska.
They're good teams that we play down there.
Yeah.
Norfolk, Kearney, they're very good, aggressive volleyball teams.
And then West River, it's the same state, but I'm talking East River. And great success against West River teams as well.
Yep.
And it just shows you the kind of caliber volleyball that's being played in Eastern South Dakota.
Absolutely. Agreed.
And so wish you the best of luck today. Why don't you give us the times for people that want to head out to the summit?
Sure. Okay, let's make them accurate here. JV will start at 12:30 along with freshman A, roughly around 2 o'clock-ish mark, 1:30 mark. We'll have sophomores and freshman B, and then varsity is scheduled to start at 3 o'clock.
All right. Best of luck to you and the team. Thanks for joining us. All right, let's coach Chelsea Law, Yankton Gazelles volleyball. We'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab in Yankton has a newer research-based mindset when it comes to treating musculoskeletal aches and pains. We take the time to figure out where the pain is coming from and educate our patients on what they can do to improve their functional range of motion. We administer a range of treatments and preventative approaches that are customized to each individual patient and their health goals. Visit us on our website at swatchiropracticandrehab.com. When you need to feel better, visit SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab out by the lake on West Highway 52.
In the lab or up on stage, Mount Marty University has a place for you. From athletes and artists to academics and alumni, together we cheer each other on and work to make a difference in the lives of those around us. Show your spirit at a university that celebrates what makes us different. Schedule a tour at Mount Marty University by visiting mountmarty.edu or calling 605-668-1545.
It's time for a new kind of credit card, one that's with you where you are, wherever life leads. The Evergreen Credit Card by FNBO earns you unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase, every day, every step of the way. For important information and limitations regarding the rewards program, visit fnbo.com/evergreen for complete details. From the great big small bank, ever ready for you to earn more so you can do more. Only with Evergreen by FNBO. Learn more today at fnbo.com/evergreen.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. Thanks to the Yankton Bucks football coaches and Coach Chelsea Law of Yankton Gazelles volleyball for joining us. And we continue on here on the Coach's Corner. Don't have cross country in today. However, I want to let you know that the boys won the ESD conference meet a couple weeks ago, just to remind you. And now Yankton prepares to travel back to Broadland Creek Golf Course in here on Thursday for the state meet. So back-to-back meets there. They performed very well at that invite earlier in the week. So best of luck to Yankton cross country and hopefully bring a state title or get a really nice performance done there at the state meet. Yankton competitive cheer and dance held the ESD meet on Thursday at the Summit Activity Center. Once every 9 years they get a host, and it was a very good turnout. I went and attended, and Yankton performed very well. And we'll talk about all those results here shortly because I have a interview that was recorded yesterday morning with Coach Stacy Reichen of Yankton Gazelles dance, and she also covers cheer as well in this interview. Here's that conversation. And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. Let's talk Yankton competitive dance and cheer. Coach Stacy Reichen. Coach, recording this Friday morning. So first off, I want to say congratulations on a successful hosting of the ESD conference meet that was on Thursday. Before we get into the results of last Saturday and last night, again, Thursday, just how was the experience for you and the girls?
It was great. We've talked a lot all week about the history of the ESD conference and what a special thing that is to be a part of in the state. And just like the really honor it is to get to participate in an ESD conference meet and then also to host it, how even more special that is because it only comes around once every 9 years. So when it happens when you're in high school, that's kind of a big deal that you get to be that host team. And, you know, we designed T-shirts for all the other schools to have the option of purchasing. So it's cool that, you know, when we go to a dance meet, you know, even if when we go to state next week, we might see an ESD shirt on somebody. So this is kind of a fun thing for us to get to have as a group together.
Well, I saw after, I believe it was the jazz performance, just the big hug that you and the team had. And I know the season isn't over yet, but it really did kind of feel like a lot culminated to that moment that you guys have been working hard with these routines and that I think you are all starting to sense the season is about to end.
Right. Yeah. It was very emotional. Just the whole day was filled with a lot of things. It was our wedding anniversary yesterday, so I think that
Happy
added to
anniversary.
it. Yes, thank you. So that was Gerald and I, 21 years of being married, and he came to practice yesterday morning. I said, "Hey, how about you?" And our daughter Madison said, "Dad, could you bring donuts to practice?" And so he said, "Sure." So we had started out, we did our practice, and then Gerald came in with donuts, and he walked in with flowers too. So that added yesterday morning, because I knew that yesterday was going to be just like, it was all about dance. And, a lot of times as coaches and as a teacher, everything in your personal life kind of takes second place to what you have to do as a coach and then as a teacher in the classroom. So the fact that he understands that, and he's always so gracious and just, lets me coach the girls, and takes a second seat to that, and just is experiencing it. But as a dad of a dance teamer too, so he knows that the job has to be done. So I was just so appreciative of that. And then we got to have a nice little moment with the dance team girls and talk about the two of us and our marriage a little bit with them. We have a tradition that we throw rose petals, or dried flowered petals they are, from our wedding. We dried petals from places around town that our families had lived in different houses, and we had leftover petal little pouch things from our wedding day. And my mom said it would be really cool if you threw those every day on your wedding anniversary. And so for now 21 years, we take one pouch out every year and throw it, because the thought was, if we go through, I think we had like 40 or 50 pouches left over. If we get through all of those together, and think about the happy marriage that we've had and the life we've built together. So we told the story to the girls, and of course I was crying when I talked to them. And so then we had the girls come behind us, and we threw the petals in the gym, and then cleaned it up. But so the girls got to be a part of that tradition that morning. So that's how the day started. So it was very emotional then. And then just building up to it, setting that gym up last night during the day with Coach Wells. That was a pretty special time. We had a balloon arch that we put together the night before for teams to take photos. And during the day at school, even kids were walking in class going to PE, and they weren't even in dance or cheer, but they were taking pictures in front of it. So it was just, I think everybody, I felt like, got that we wanted that last night to be special for the dancers and the cheerleaders. And it was. And so when they were done dancing for jazz, and we've worked so hard, and in my head, I had built up what I wanted the girls to look like on the floor, and they did it. I mean, everything was just, in my mind as a coach, everything that I've talked to them about and we've talked together about and we've wanted to work on, they displayed that last night. And so, yeah, it was a little bit of an emotional time. I tried not to look at Maya Gilbertson too much during the jazz dance, because she's been on the team for 4 years, and knowing that she's got one more meet, and this was her last time at home, and how much time she's put in. But I had a moment at the end that I looked at her, and that's when my tears started coming. And then I looked at our own daughter and just thought, I'll cry now too. One more year with this, and for one more ESD with her. And I was just like, okay, all right. So it was an emotional dance, but I mean, plus we've talked about the whole message of the song of like people that are, any time that you feel like you just you're hanging on to something, and it's that last moment that you just keep, grasping it, whatever it is, a memory, a family member, anything, that you are just holding on, and you do not want that to let go ever. And so they've really talked about that together as a team and what that means. They haven't shared what that thing is that they're just thinking about, but for me, it's just holding on to those girls as long as I can, keeping them as a team as long as we can. And yeah, it's coming to the end. I'm looking forward to next week, definitely. We're going to practice here hard next week so that we can put another good performance on the floor. They felt like when they walked off the floor last night, they didn't hold anything back. They did everything they needed to. And I just said, have no regrets. Dance for you, dance from the heart, and just walk off with knowing that you did everything you could do.
Well, those girls at last night, as from what I'm taking this from, last night they seemed to be the loudest cheerers. Dance for cheer, then cheer for dance during the performances. In a pretty packed gym, it's just really nice to see the support that both programs give each other, as you alluded to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was electric. When even before the meet started, I had to go into the gym. I had the POM group in the Aux gym warming up, getting us ready because we were the fifth thing up. Usually we try to be in the gym when the national anthem is being played because I think that's pretty important that we understand and the respect that needs to have. And we want to be in there. But with us being the fifth one out, we didn't get to do that last night. So the girls, when the national anthem was being played, they were saluting in the Aux gym. They stopped because they know that that's important to us as a team. And then I had to go in and get something. And when I walked in, the parents, I heard them like cheers erupt from the parents up in the stands. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is crazy. That was great. I mean, our parents sat all as a group. And when we came in to do POM, we had a little bit of lag time because it was, I think Watertown POM was in front of us. So there's always about 4 or 5 minutes of no sound. And our parents and the cheer team filled that with Yankton cheers. So
and
that
Kirby
was
could
amazing.
be heard. So
Awesome. Good. I'm so glad. So, and then, when the cheer went, that same energy came before they got going. And then I play their music and they got done with their cheer and they said Gazelles. And I know it's a timed thing. And Madeline has said, Coach Wells has said, count to 3 and then push play. But I was afraid to push play because it was so loud in there. I thought they're not going to hear the first beats, but they did it over. They did. And then same thing happened when we did our jazz, like the energy came back and the girls, we talked about that. I said, you need to feel that, play off of that, use their energy to get the job done.
Well, we're not really going to get into the X's and O's of this because I just love the conversation we've already had. We kind of went over things in a roundabout way. But just for those listening or watching on KYNT TV, Yankton took first at the Mitchell Invite. Yankton Dance did 263.5, ahead of second place Aberdeen 241.75. And then from last night, the ESD conference, something that only happens, what did you say, about every 8 years, a team gets to host because of the rotation.
Right. So there's 9 teams, so you get it one time in those 9 years. Yep.
Yankton at cheer finished 6th, 203.5, and then Yankton Dance finished 3rd at home, 262.75. Ahead of them, Harrisburg 271.25, and then Brandon Valley took the team title 288. Overall, an excellent performance from Yankton competitive cheer and dance. And Coach, congratulations. I guess what's next is the last one up at Watertown, the 22nd, the state meet. How do the girls like performing there?
Watertown, they like performing in Watertown. That's the first one out of the gate for the season. And so when we were there back in, it would have been in August, we talked about this is where you're going to be for state, get used to the gym. Let's think about the floor. So next week we'll kind of talk about that in practice and just the elements of moving from A to B. The state meet, it's a whole nother realm. Everybody is there. There's a lot of people. So you kind of got to plan ahead to get your girls where they need to be. It takes a little bit longer to get through everyone. But yeah, the meet will set up really nice. The floor level will just be all competitors. All of the spectators go upstairs. So that's kind of nice that it's separated so you can kind of keep your kids close. And they're right there. It will be a good meet. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The girls, the cheer and the dance, like both of us have felt like our teams have really progressed and really are moving forward and headed in the right direction. So we're just looking for some good performances, and see what scores we come out with. Hopefully with the dance, especially, I think it is so close in the state. I don't know if people know how tight it is between, like Brandon, they always seem to pull out ahead of everybody. But when you look at 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, those scores are so tight together. It's just who's going to show up on what day and bring it and, not have any deductions for anything and just get the job done. So it's going to be a great state tournament. I know they do broadcast it on South Dakota Public TV, just like all the other state competitions that they have. And I think Watertown, I think they have a live stream, a YouTube live stream too. So, there would be places for people to watch. We're going to be putting out on social media like the times. We've got those now from the state. When is pom going? When is jazz going? When does cheer perform? So people can tune into that at those times. And they stick pretty close to those times at the state meet.
Sorry, I had myself muted. Well, Coach, I sincerely wish the best of luck to you and the team. We won't talk next weekend because you'll be at the state meet, but we will talk the following weekend and wrap up our fall conversations. Hopefully, talking about Yankton Gazelles' victory or an excellent performance at the very least, which I have no doubt. I appreciate you joining us, Coach. And as I said, we still have another meeting, but I just still want to say appreciate you taking the time all fall to sit down with us.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much for all the things that you do for our girls and the broadcast and the coverage. It's great.
That's Coach Stacy Reagan, Yankton Competitive Dance, also representing cheer on the Coach's Corner here today. We'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
A radio commercial for hearing loss is tricky. You see, there are two scenarios. Either it's you, or it could be the loved one you're with. Here's how to find out. If the radio is deafeningly loud right now, it's probably not you. If it's not deafeningly loud, look over at your loved one wearing earplugs. Maybe it's time to visit the hearing experts, Avera Medical Group Audiology Yankton. Doctors Matt Rumsey and Kendra Bailey can get you back to never missing a beat during a conversation. They offer the latest technology and free 2-week test drives. Call 605-655-1220.
You're listening to The Coaches Show on KYNT and KYNT TV, brought to you by SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab.
All right, we're going to wrap things up here this morning on the Coach's Corner. Thanks to all the football coaches, volleyball, for taking the time. Obviously, we've wrapped up a lot of other sports, but always appreciate everyone taking the time for the Coach's Corner, including you, the listener and viewer on KYNT, KYNT-V. Well, what's on KYNT today? Mount Marty University Lancer football traveled to Concordia today for GPAC football action. 12 p.m. pregame, 1 p.m. kickoff right here on KYNT. Steve Toomtel Tanner will bring you that action. And, of course, you have Kansas City Chiefs football tomorrow. Chiefs Radio Network being played right here on your home for Kansas City Chiefs football, KYNT. 2 p.m. pregame, like a 3:15 kickoff, taking on the Bills. That's actually a huge game. I will be keeping track of that one. I'll wrap up the Coach's Corner here today. And as I said, I appreciate all the coaches for taking the time to come into the studios and eat some pizza. And I know they like to converse with each other and bring you all the latest on their programs. This has been the Coach's Corner on KYNT.
FM 102.1 and AM 1450 KYNT Yankton.
From 8